So just a moment for me to start the live stream. And we are live.
Okay. Thank you, Borisa. I think you can stop sharing now the screen, and it could be good that Emily, Tintti, and me appear. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good day. I would like first to give the word to our dear chair right now of WAAE, Emily. So Emily, could you say a few words?
Thank you, Sanja. Jambo, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What a pleasure to be in this place at this time, and especially at this time of the world's history, when many things are happening, with a theme for the International Arts Education 2022 of Arts Education for Peace. And this International Arts Education Week is something that we have held since the year 2012. And I remember being at the first one, I think it was at UNESCO in Paris. And it was something mind-boggling for me, because that was the first time that I was attending any event of that global magnitude. It is a joy that we can sustain this tradition, and that every year we can make it more meaningful to ourselves as individuals and to humanity as a whole through whatever it is that we do as arts educators. And I'd like to just welcome you. This is the third day of our activity this year. And I'm so glad that we have a person of great significance to global arts education to take us through her journey. Tintti, it is a pleasure to meet you, and for everybody else. And I'm going to allow you, Sanja, to please go on from here. From me, it is Karibu Sana, which is Kiswahili for welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Emily. So, dobrodošli, welcome. My name is Sanja Krsmanović Tasić. I'm the president of FIDEA, and today we have a very special session during the UNESCO International Week of Arts Education with a very special person, and this person is Tintti Karppinen. So we will start in a non-formal way, because usually we have some intro or read the biography of the person, but I would really like to start with a letter that in 2020 Tintti sent to the president of Finland, Sauli Niinisto. I hope I pronounced it right. So she wrote this: could Finland make the following initiative to the world? Let's turn this corona pandemic, which concerns the whole globe, into victory, so that in future it will be remembered in history as a disease which made us all cooperationally responsible mankind. Then the word corona will mean its original etymological meaning, crown, and especially crown of peace. Isn't it now the right moment to send a message to all leaders of the world that the enemies are not behind the borders? Our worst enemies are climate change, death and starvation, disease, poverty, lack of pure water, nature catastrophes, and violence. These have no borders. We can best and most efficiently fight against these if we stop rearmament and use all that money and resources to win the real enemies. Finland organized in 1975 an excellent meeting of the Commission on Security and Cooperation in Europe. Now it is time to make a worldwide initiative, all now. I ask sincerely that you, Sauli Niinisto, as President of Finland, take an initiative and invite the leaders of all states into this common fight to win those real enemies which threaten the life of the globe. If every country promises to move 10% of its military costs, weapons and soldiers to defend against these above mentioned threats, we give to our children an example of responsible adults who really concretely work for a better future. Then we need not be ashamed. Weapons are nothing but stupid because you cannot use them to repair or to build. This is what my grandson said when he was 4 years old. Let's listen to the children and to our heart and use our common sense, and then we have hope. With kind regards, Tintti Karppinen, who still believes that the bridge of peace exists. Thank you, Tintti. It's very inspirational and amazing to read your words. So we can really be inspired by even with this letter that you wrote last year when everybody was so frightened about the corona and what it is all about. So Tintti, could you tell us something about how you started? You are, first of all, a drama teacher, isn't it?
Oh yes, I am a drama teacher, and I want to start by telling you a really shocking piece of news. Because when I went to FIDEA webpage, I found about this event that under my name there is Finland Finnish Drama Theatre Education Association, but we are not Finnish Drama Theatre and Education. It should be with two N. It is Finnish, not Finnish. So I was much when I realized that I have this argument that stop Finnish Drama Theatre Education Association. We are not going to stop to finish it. Okay. In the very beginning, I was studying in 60s. I was studying to become a mother teacher, and I had theatre and drama, and I was in student theatre and so on. And very quickly I realized that most that I am interested in is to combine theatre, drama, and education. And that time, such subjects in schools and so on, it was something very new. So I was one of the pioneers to start this in Finland. We had several others, of course, alone. But however, I was happy to meet Brian Way, and I invited him to come to Finland. I was in his workshop first in Denmark. And after that, I was interpreter, and I translated his book into Finnish, and he was several times in Finland. I was his assistant, and then Gavin Bolton I invited to Finland and translated his book. And if you know a little story about Gavin Bolton's book, after translation, I sent him 500 dots. And I wrote that it seems to me that in your typewriter machine, this little sign is missing. So if you are going to write another book, please use these. We were still friends after that. We met in Australia in FIDEA Congress 92, and we're laughing to this, both together. But this was the origin.
Yes, you really dedicate your drama workshops to the topic of peace.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about it? What does an arts education, a drama theater workshop look like that is dedicated to peace? And what do you think about competition? This is something I heard very important from you.
For me, I suppose that all arts are working for peace, all education working for peace, because if you ask any anyone in the world. They all are talking that we want to get peace into this world. For me, it became so very clear, started to more study about fairy tales and our games and plays, and there was so much violence in them. And I am born golden spoon in my mouth. I was born 46 after Second World War, so I never suffered war. It was for me concept of imperfect in the past. And then when I was 10 years, I read about hard events in Hungary. And I that it is not now in this real world, 1956, still going on. People are in wars and killing each other. It was the end of my childhood, and it has a big impact in my work later on. When I started to change the games, those games, traditional games that are with wrong philosophy. And the wrong philosophy for me means that you can be good only if the others around you, if your co-players, if they are worse, if they are bad. So you can enjoy only if the others have lost something, some toys or cards or whatsoever, or if they are slower or not so smart, so high or whatever. I am not against all competition, by no means. They can be nice and enjoyable, and you try your best, and next time you try more, and all this. But if it is the only philosophy in all games and in all plays, it is not good, because then we are competing ourselves to the death. It can't be so. So therefore, many traditional games, you enjoy more if we all have fun and nobody is excluded, for instance. But all are included. We are doing it together. And I know that this is really the inner wish in every human being, because I have worked also in let's say, prisons. And they are said, I are playing, we are not kids, and we are in the kindergarten now. But when in 1 hour, I see them all enjoying and laughing, and not laughing because the others are poor or bad, but laughing because they all have fun together. That gives me optimism and reminds me that this is worth of doing this.
Yes. You wrote a book with the title, If I Were in Your Shoes. Can you tell us something about the book?
Well, for me, it is the core of social drama. And that's why drama is so powerful method, powerful piece of art. In drama, shortly, it means that we have a conflict and we have roles and we try to solve the conflict. And I was so happy when our president, who is the member of honor in FIDEA, she wrote that we should use social drama also in real political meetings, so that you really should put yourself in person's role and think and talk about issues from other person's point of view. In real life, we cannot change, only in drama. I cannot say that I am fed up to be mother in this family, I want to be father now. But in drama, we can change the roles and we can see from other person's point of view. And that's why it is so powerful.
Thank you. The IDEA member from Finland is FIDEA, the Finnish association. So I want to ask you something more about, I think you have a very important jubilee, isn't it? How many years is FIDEA now, for now? Many years, five, isn't it? 5 decades. 50.
Yes, we have a very present year, and I say it with joy and with sorrow. With joy because we have been existing so long time, and with sorrow that we have worked 50 years and still we don't have in every child drama as an independent art subject, and still there is no peace in this very world.
Yes, exactly. I just want to also then mention, of course, IDEA. You are really one, we have another jubilee, our association, International Drama, Theatre and Education Association IDEA, this year is celebrating 30 years of existence. And as you say, we are on the mission and trying to have as really drama theatre education accessible to every child, every human being. And we are fighting for this all the time, thinking perhaps there will be more peace in the world if there is more arts education in the world. I wanted to ask you about IDEA. So you have been from the very, very beginning in our association. You have been one of the elected officers of our association. Can you tell us something about it, and also about the prehistory of our World Alliance for Arts Education, WAAE, that this webinar is part of the celebration of the International Arts Education Week?
Okay, thank you for the question. In Portugal, when IDEA was founded really 20 years ago, I was in that meeting, but I reminded already there as well that there had been for years international drama, theatre and education congresses. They were organized by IATA, Amateur Theatre Association, and there were several same people who founded this. And it was worth of doing it because we wanted to focus really on theatre and education as a segment in their program. But we made this just to work for drama, theatre and education. And since that, in fact, I have been to every Congress, and they were up to Paris every third year. And the Paris Congress was the last one, 2013. And it was a really big surprise to me that I was elected into the executive committee in Brisbane, 95. And it was in that time that I am there only 3 years, so that Stig Eriksson from Norway can be re-elected next time, because they were applying for having a congress in Bergen. But then when we had the next Congress and General Council meeting in Kisumu in Kenya, and I was prepared to get out now from the board. They said, no, 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 no. Stig said, I don't want to become a Congress director in Norway, and I want you to continue. And so it was a shock that I was elected to become a vice president of IDEA for the next 3 years. And in that role, in fact, I was basing WAAE, because it was not yet called like that, but Larry, who was president then, he couldn't attend Paris meetings. So Isme and Einar Solbu from Norway, who was president of Isme, and Inse Schönau, they were UNESCO headquarters. There was a big conference to work for drama in education. And we three, IDEA, ISME and INSEA, we made joint declaration, our voices are. And this was 1999 declared in Paris. And then after that, we had several regional meetings around the world, in Brazil, for Latin America, and in Fiji for ocean. And then it was a shock I was asked to organize a European Arts in Education meeting in Finland by Teresa Wagner from UNESCO. And half a year before it was supposed to happen, she told me that, didn't you know that Canada and USA belongs also to Europe in UNESCO thinking? So studies were totally wrong. I had to start in some sense from the very beginning to make a balance. But those meetings were for all arts. So there were visual arts and music, dance, and theater. So we had 2003, the European meeting in Finland, and then 2006 became this Lisbon UNESCO first Arts in Education Congress, big event in Lisbon, and BAE was officially based there with ISME, INSEA, and IDEA. Dance, World Dance Association joined later into that. So now there are these 4 associations. And then as to my career in I thought that now I have been 6 years in EC, so now it is finished when we had this next meeting 2001 in Bergen, but then they found that now you can be in General Council meeting because it is a different committee. So I was elected into General Council meeting, Vice President, and I said I cannot be president due to my poor. At the same time, but I can. So I was re-elected to that position. So I was 6 years a vice president in General Council meetings. General Meeting Committee. And then I thought, well, this is all over. But then they realized that no, now you can be in the accountancy committee. So I was elected into accountancy committee. And the last time when I was elected to that was and then I made this very long recommendation speech on my behalf. I went in front of the audience and I said, I do what I promised. And I was elected into that position. And I tried to do what I promised. So this is my career. I was 18 years in these 3 committees.
I think you hold the record in IDEA, longest standing elected
but I promise
officer.
not to interfere to the next ECs. Only help if necessary.
Yes, and we feel very much your help and support. I just want to say that as much as I read in your biography, you were actually leading, were the moderator of the workshop Arts Education in Promoting Peace and Tolerance. Was it at 2006 at the UNESCO World Congress Arts in Education in Lisbon?
Yeah, they asked me to be the facilitator for that.
How was this workshop? What do you think about the concepts of actually arts education promoting peace and tolerance in that time? So it was 2006. Some years have passed now. What do you think about it now and then? Has something changed?
Well, of course, I was honored and happy that they invited me to do that, and people around the world. And we tried to find practical things we can do way back, and we told examples how can we promote, and they were all different types of advocacy making and so on. And then I told there one of my favorite, how could I say, not method, but the way I work to take off the how could I say, when you are playing chess, that when I did it, and I was of course better than they when they were small, we changed the toys. When they were near to lose, then if they had whites, we changed the board, so I got those in bad position. those white toys, and they could continue with so they've realized that it is not so important who is winning and who is losing, and I need not tell that, oh, I cannot. I played with all my ability, and did my best. And I never forget one man, he was from Colombia, and he said that, Tintti, this is the best lesson I ever got, because I have had this problem with my children. I don't want to end and play worse than I can, but this is philosophically very clever. This was one of those, how could I say, concrete examples we were talking about.
Thank you, Tintti. I would like now to ask Borisav if he could play the video from the FIDEA, actually the Finnish Association of Ring the Bells for Arts Education. And we would really like to talk a little bit more about it. So Borisav, if you could just share with us your screen, and that we can hear how it sounds, the bells. Okay, thank you. I want to talk now about this action, and I can start from myself, because many years ago I heard an idea, as you must tell us also about the Idea Day that you initiated, that you told us that there is that you are doing an action for Idea Day, and that you will you have provided, FIDEA provided little bells that maybe had a ribbon that said FIDEA, and that actually you, yes, and you gave it to all the children in the schools and told them that on the 27th of November, that is Idea Day, they should ring the bells at noon, because it is the celebration of drama theater education. And for me, it was very, very inspiring. You must tell us more, of course, about this and how you came to the idea to celebrate the day of our association. Because for me, advocacy is a very big word. Advocacy sounds very mystical sometimes. You know, what is advocacy? What do you do? Does it have to do with politicians? Who is it? And for me, this is such a pure gesture of advocacy that is so simple and so clear. And I was so much inspired by you, actually, Tintti, that a couple of years ago, in 2020, I really, in my original, of course, my association from Belgrade, Serbia, Center for Drama in Education and Art, CEDEU, I asked the people, okay, let's invite people to ring the bells for the beginning of the International Arts Education Week. And I'm so happy that this program, everywhere I stated that I was inspired by Tintti Karppinen, who started this action, is a wonderful act of advocacy. So can you tell us how we can do advocacy? Yes, please. Thank you very much, Borisav. And these are the photos, isn't it? Yes. So you can share some of them. And Tintti, could you please tell us something more about it?
Yeah, in fact, we started this in a big demonstration in front of our parliament house when we wanted to join all art educators in Finland. So we visual art educators, music educators, dance educators, and drama and theatre educators. And we went into the stairs of our parliament, and we put all the alarm bells to, but it was then 11. This was last year here in our suburb, this photo. Bells again. It was for UNESCO Arts Week. It was not the Idea Day. But the origin to ring the bells was at 11 o'clock, because it means that it is the last moment to do important moment. Plenty of how could I say, goodwill. And when I had a very big alarm clock hanging in my nest, people were all smiling when I walked center of Helsinki towards the and also our radio center ringing the bells and told about this, that it is important to work for arts. And we had a big appeal paper, and we asked all educators, not only art educators, but all educators, politicians, doctors, social workers, psychologists, all people, all trade unions, and to sign it, that it is important that children must, and not only children, must have arts to express themselves. And this was the origin for ringing the bells. And we took it for FIDEA later on when we celebrate Idea Day. And this International Idea Day was accepted in Hong Kong Congress General Council meeting 2007. The idea was accepted then, but not the date was decided yet. It was later on, and we took November because it was a good month. No one had holiday time in schools and universities. It was good, and then the date 27 was invented by Anne Sandström, our former FIDEA president, because ITI, International Theatre Institute, has declared for years World Theatre Day on 27th March. Also based from Finnish, this is from our garden, and this is the big blue alarm clock which I had hanging when I walked in the center of Helsinki. However, it was a very good decision, because later on I found out that in March, Declaration of the rights of the child were accepted by UNESCO. It was in March, and sorry, number 27, the date.
20th of November. 20th of November is the date of the Declaration of the Child's Human Rights. This is the child's rights.
Yeah,
it is on the 20th of November.
Yeah, but number 27 in Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It is very suitable for us because the article number 27 says everyone has the right to participate in the cultural life of the community, to enjoy the arts, and to share in scientific advancements and its lovely article for us. It is number 27. To remind that also, we talk about it when the idea of bells is that when people are reminded, why do you ring the bell? Then we tell that it is important to promote arts, and especially we in FIDEA, we promote the drama theatre in education, but we collaborate very well with FIDEA and FISME, those Finnish organization as well.
Good. I would ask Borisav now to share the video from 2020, Zvonimo za umetničko obrazovanje. That is the first that CDEUM initiated and IDEA accepted. So it became an international action. And the next year, WAAE also accepted it as its action. And this year, of course. So Borisav, it would be nice to see that first video from 2020, from all over the world. Yes.
Let the bells be heard. Happy Arts Education Week! Resuenan las campanas y las maracas por el arte en la educación.
Durch Felsenwald zu schweifen, mein Liedchen wegzupfeifen, so geht von Ort zu Ort, so geht von Ort zu Ort.
Más arte, teatro en educación.
Okay, class.
Yes, I really like that actually you can ring with anything. You can ring with the cup, you can ring in any way. What is really fantastic is that now it is spreading, and we could see a few more videos because I think it's really nice to see. So Borisa, maybe you can share the video of Miao Bin, who is from Chengdu. He is a drama teacher from China, Chengdu, and he sent us a very nice video last year of his students ringing the bells and saying something about drama education. Okay?
We are the Chinese children from Chengdu, China. Let's ring for the art education. So we love theater.
Okay, thank you. And I must say that I was really very happy to see that there are actions happening also this year. And maybe we could see from Ontario, Prologue Theatre sent us a very good video compilation of different people playing and ringing. So this was from Monday, from the beginning of this year's Arts Education Week.
Hi everyone, it's Kate here from Prologue Performing Arts. I'm so excited because today is the first day of Arts Education Week. This week we are advocating for arts education and we are celebrating all of the amazing teachers, artists, artist educators, students, and youth that we get to work with all the time. So I hope you join us today to ring the bells for arts education, and we hope you enjoy some arts today.
On sonne nos cloches, on joue nos tambours pour l'éducation artistique.
Ring the bell for arts education. Ring the bell for arts education. Yeah. Do you want to try? There we go.
Bonhomme, bonhomme, sais-tu jouer? Bonhomme, bonhomme, sais-tu jouer? Sais-tu jouer le violon? Sais-tu jouer le violon?
Meu berimbau toca educação artística para todos e todas. Axé!
Okay, thank you very much, Borisa. I think this is a beautiful contribution, and that you see, Tintti, how your initiative and your real concrete life advocacy is working and spreading around. I just want to say that you are an extraordinary person that have received a lot of prizes. I can just read that you have received in 2017 Lifelong Success Award for establishing an approach that incorporates creative drama with peace education. And even without acknowledging all these prizes and the things that you have, it's such a valuable thing to have you in IDEA, to have you in our community of arts education, because this is so inspiring. Would you like to add something? Because now we will invite everybody who is on Zoom to join us, to put on their cameras, if it's okay. So Tintti, would you like to say something now?
Well, I really need to thank all those in IDEA, because without them, there is nothing. We are those all together. Alone is nobody. So I'm very sorry that Maria couldn't be here now, but she was the first president. And tell you that it was for me a big, how could I say, like a mentor in some way, because she said in the very FIDEA General Council meeting after Porto, when it was based, that those who are non-native English speakers must get double the time to express their thoughts in these meetings. And she really said that in the way that nobody took it as some kind of negative, but positively, and made the atmosphere so that we really could work, cooperate together. And of course, we have had all kind of disagreements and so on, but idea is still strong and will be. And one big thing, if we start, I started with Maria as a first president. I am so happy and grateful that we have now Sanja president, current president.
Thank you, Tintti. Thank you so much. I think now we have opened the floor, and please, everybody who is online can also join us. There are some people who did not put on the cameras, but it's their choice. I would really like people maybe to ask questions to Tintti, or to comment, or to share their experiences with working on arts education with a theme of peace, or peace education through art. So please, who would like to just join? You can just lift your hand, we can see you. Yes, Joachim. Joachim, you can be first, and then we can hear Zeki.
Okay, yeah, hello. Good
Hello.
to see you all, and great that you're here, and thank you so much, Tintti, and thank you, Sanja. So, according to our principles of theater education in schools, students decide by a longer process, or in a longer process, what they want to have as a title or theme, a topic of their theater production, their theater work. So it was in the early 80s. I think it was the third theater production we made according to the 2 world wars and to some plays and books working on that or reflecting that. So we took texts and persons, characters from here and there, put them together. And one of my students at that time, he wrote a text about the third World War. Yeah. So we had in the early 80s, according to some political movements at that time about peace, for peace, our play about war and peace.
Thank you, Joachim. Zeki, you wanted to say something?
So happy Arts Weeks, and I just wanted to comment something to Tintti's work. Actually, she has been in Turkey several times, and especially about the peace education. She had several workshops in our international congresses. I do remember one of them was in Adana and the other was in Ankara. And I am quite curious about, I'm sure that she did in different countries as well. Maybe it would be nice to give some clues about the workshops that she did in different parts of the world, because the cultures are different, but the piece is common for all of us. So it would be really nice to have some clues connected with cultures about peace education.
Was there a question? I didn't catch it, sorry.
well, I just wanted to have some, memories maybe about peace education from different cultures. It's not a really deep question because nobody was talking, so I just wanted to say it, but I saw that after that Beth already asked question, but I just wanted to hear some memories from different parts of the world about peace education.
Thanks. Can I add to that? I never forget when I got in Bursa, you had the special team museum.
Yes.
This is one example of the follow-ups. When I got this beautiful award, and there was the president of World Museum Workers Association. I don't know but anyway, from all the museum workers of the world, this association president, and he came to me and congratulated me for this award. And then I said to him that I have you a message, but I cannot do it now. I must carefully think it at home and send it to you. So I sent, after this meeting, I sent him a proposal that all museums should start give back all those objects, all those treasures, what they have either stolen in wars or taken with some other way by violence from other countries, to give them back as a gesture making peace. We could sign for the whole world that it is not the correct way that when you win the war, you take the treasures from the country and you store those things. And give them back, you give the image that this was wrong and we want to say, excuse us, and now you will get this back. And he sent me a very kind letter as an answer and said that I like very much this initiative, and we have a meeting in June, and I will take this into agenda. And it was in their agenda, and he totally agreed with this, although those workers cannot decide this. But since that, there have been several acts where museums have given back the treasures. And I was so happy in Finland, for instance, our National Museum has given all the lapis objects to Lapland Museum, which earlier were here in Helsinki. So they gave them to the north where they belong, where they come from. And several other, I know, movements have happened in the world. It was not only because I wrote this letter, but when I want to be optimistic towards myself, then I say that it was a teeny little gesture towards that anyway.
Yes. So Beth, you wanted to also say something in the chat. Would you please?
Make me talk. Thank you for all of this, Tintti. I was just thinking about people who are new to theater education, drama education, arts education, and what advice would you give people who are new to the field, where their ideals kind of sometimes are bigger than the actions that they're capable of to start with? What advice would you give them?
Well, I can say that over half of my work has been to do with people who have no idea of drama or why we should have it. I was around 20 years in the university teaching students to become teachers and so on. I have been teaching health for healthcare and so on and so on. Had over 10 years family courses where half of the parents had nothing to do with arts, but they came to have a week together with their children and wife. Normally it was the situation. Wives were mostly teachers who wanted to have a drama week together with children and husband. And always the reaction I never knew it can be so nice and so easy to do this, because their image is that if they hear, they must go into the stage in front of the big audience and do their something. But we never start with that kind of things, and mostly never stop with that kind of things, because we share things. And I use plenty of games. That is, and I never forget one critic, which was said that when I saw that in our program is also creative activity, it was the name for that time, I decided I will do nothing. But 15 minutes and I had forgotten this decision. So it was a very nice confession that it will.
Thank you, Tintti.
Yes, Larry?
Well, just adding to this conversation about making small gestures towards a larger goal. I think, Tintti, you are a wonderful example of someone who brings people together in the place and time where they're together, and makes connections and makes people feel like they're part of the same community. And I think you do that all the time. I think you do that in your personal life. And of course, you do it in your dramatic activity as well. So just, I think you well deserve the award you received for personal and professional work.
Thank you.
Thank
Larry,
you, Larry.
We were joking when Larry was president. I said always to him, I don't care if you are right, because I am wise.
Emily wrote a really beautiful message. Maybe, Emily, you could just say it or read it to all of us.
Sanja, and I've been thinking, when I consider, for example, music, and I think theater, where people come together, the practice, I think, makes it possible for us to respect the people that we are in touch with. And so I just feel that getting involved in the arts and education in the arts are in themselves elements of peace education, because you cannot share a stage with somebody if you do not acknowledge their value. And something tells me that if I can get to acknowledge the other person as also being valuable, I should forge some kind of relationship with them. And I believe those are the primary ingredients for harmony, which in my simple mind is the other side of the absence of peace. And I wonder if perhaps, and it takes me to Beth's question, maybe sometimes we don't do it that consciously. Maybe we are not even consciously focusing on performing or teaching arts towards peace education. Maybe we are not. And yet perhaps in our little ways, we can achieve that. I've just written my piece for the Eastman newsletter for this month. And it's coming, at a time when there's this shooting in the US, and it's a very emotional time, really. But when you think of that happening during this week, when we are talking about arts education or arts education for peace, you can't help but imagine what would happen if literally everybody embraced the principles that we espouse as arts educators, the principles of respect, the principles of honor, the principles of friendship, the principles of collaboration. I don't know, the English words fail me. Larry, you know me and English, we are not good friends, but here we go. Yes, so those are my thoughts, and I can't help but feel that people in theater, in drama, people in music are really perfectly positioned to initiate activities or just propose things that would draw us more towards peaceful coexistence than anything else. Yeah.
Thank you, Emily. Patrice, so we have another former president of FIDEA here, Patrice Baldwin. Welcome, Patrice.
Hi. I'm in a way it echoes what people have just said, but what's interesting to me is yesterday I did an online training session for national drama. And since the pandemic, when we've done online sessions, of course, people have been able to join us from other parts of the world. And I never know who's going to turn up, but yesterday and last week, to my amazement, this session, which was about using picture books with young children to teach through drama for learning. At my session, I had teachers from Russia, China, the United States of America, Spain, England, various countries. But I was and Abu Dhabi, and I thought, in a sense, it connects to what we just said about the practice, because it was bringing together the world, because we all had an interest in drama as a way of learning. And it happened that the session that I was focusing on and the picture book I was using was actually working with a picture book which was dealing with migration. And we did not explicitly talk about any current situation. And that's the power of working with drama for learning, is you're dealing with the issues in a way which is distanced, but you do bring yourself to it, even when you're working in role, and you can be changed by it. So I do think we're working in a really important medium. And just this session we have here now, the fact that we have countries from all over the world coming together with a shared interest where we are listening to each other and we care about what each other do, that is a great ray of hope in difficult times.
Thank you, Patrice. Would anybody like to add something? Thank you. This is really important, and I think it is really showing that, as Tintti said at the beginning, and the letter that I read, that she said that hopefully Corona could be the crown of peace. What I'm thinking all the time is about how these very challenging times that we are passing in the past few years actually in a way opened up this possibility of these Zoom webinars, meetings, more communication, that we are hungry for communication that can happen in this way. And I think this is a very important learning curve. So I just want to ask Tintti now, because we are nearing the end. Welcome, Teresa. We are at the very end of the session. And thank you so much for having as the backdrop the beautiful poster of arts education from WAAE for the week, for our arts education week. I wanted to ask you, Tintti, did the president of Finland answer to your letter? What if he did? What did he say?
I got the official answer, but next year he wrote in told in an interview that he has started to plan a new this kind of ethic meeting. Will not happen in his, it takes time, so it will not surely happen during his presidency. But he hopes that it will be in future. This happened before the war in Ukraine started. But I want to tell you at the very end that I was invited to give an independence speech in Finland. Here in our area to over 100 people, and I read there also this letter, and I have got so much feedback on it. But what I started with was, because it was Independence Day, I Googled what does it mean, independent, And I told in the very beginning that I am not independent woman, although I am 76, because first decision of being independent was not depending each others. So I said, I am not independent. Finland is not independent. Sweden is not. Norway is not. Estonia is not. Russia is not. These are our neighbors. We are all depending on each others. We need all each others. And so in FIDEA and in IDEA and worldwide, I can anyone to be in this sense independent. We really need each others, and it is a big benefit also and joy. And I am very thankful and grateful to all with whom I have been able to work in IDEA. And I'm going to continue because I promised that I will finish when all children have drama and there is peace in the world.
Thank you, Tintti. This is really, I think, very important message. I want to welcome Teresa that joined us now. Hello, Teresa, how are you? She's also one of our colleagues who is actually one of the authors or one of the people who initiated this year's, of course, program of our webinars and all that is happening. So would you like to say something, Teresa, to us about what we have in the next few days that is waiting for us in this International Arts Education Week?
Thank you, Sanja. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't come early because I was working, so I just came home. Well, first, thank you so much, Tintti, for doing this webinar. It's really great to have your example and your energy with us. Thank you so much. And well, this year we have these celebrations based on webinars and actions. So from IDEA, we copy the ring the bells. So in the first day, in Monday, we were ringing the bells for art education at noon, as Sanja maybe she explained before. And then we have the opening with Emily. Emily, she did the opening where we talk about art education and peace and why it is so important right now to talk about peace. And I suppose Tintti also talk about that and about being dependent. so wise to be really dependent from each other and learn to be together. And well, we'll have another webinar, which is the open house, where members from the 4 organizations, they will speak about their projects, what they are doing, and this will be tomorrow, right? And then not tomorrow, sorry, on Saturday. And on Sunday, it's the closing, and we'll have a nice conversation with Ralph, Emily, and Sanja, and everyone who wants to come, and nice conversations about art education and maybe projects for the future. So welcome everyone to come on Saturday and on Sunday for our conversations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Teresa. So I think for the end of this session, because of course I saw Zeki has a little bell. If you don't have a bell, it is okay to clap your hands or make some noise. I know that Tintti has a bell, I'm certain about it. And even if you have a little cup or a spoon or something, we can just ring the bells for arts education and make noise and remind people how much it is important. It is important for peace. It is important for all human beings coming together and working together for a more harmonious and better world. So we can start now. Put on your microphone and whatever way, please make some sound or noise. So we are ringing for arts education in the world. Nice. Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure, and we continue with the International Arts Education Week organized by the World Alliance for Arts Education. Thank you all for joining and see you soon. Bye.